The officer looked defeated. Behind him, the other two Lumini officers placed their weapons on the floor. Taehyun's communicator beeped again. It was a direct message from Admiral Kim. "Well done, Commander Park. Your action has prevented a war. Protect the witnesses until we arrive." Taehyun looked at Mina, who stood tall despite her exhaustion. They had won this battle, not with weapons, but with courage and trust. 2 months had passed since the events on Nexus 9. Earth forces had acted quickly on the information Mina provided. The planned attack on Newton Colony never happened. Instead, the military leaders on Lumini faced strong opposition from their own people after the truth was revealed. Taehyun stood at the large window in the Earth Embassy on New Geneva. The beautiful blue-green planet below was home to both humans and a growing number of Lumini refugees. He watched the tiny ships moving between the surface and the orbiting stations, like fireflies in the night. Behind him, the door opened. Mina entered, looking very different from the scared refugee he had found in his cargo hold. She wore the simple white uniform of a diplomatic aide. Her blue glow was strong and steady now, a sign of her improved health and confidence. "The ambassador is ready for us," she said. Taehyun nodded and followed her through the embassy's wide corridors. Many people greeted them as they passed. Some were human, others Lumini with various colored glows. In just 2 months, this cooperation had become normal. They entered a large meeting room where several important figures waited. Ambassador Lee rose from her seat, her face serious but kind. "Commander Park, Ms. Mina, thank you for coming," she said. "We have important news to share." Taehyun and Mina sat down. On a large screen, images appeared showing Lumini cities. People filled the streets, their bodies glowing in many colors. They carried signs with both Lumini and human writing. "The peaceful protests have spread to every major city," Ambassador Lee explained. "The military government is losing control." A new face appeared on the screen. Dr. Somi. Her green glow was bright as she spoke from a secure location on the Lumini homeworld. "The truth about the planned attack changed everything," she said. "Many military officers have left the government. They refuse to fight their own people." Taehyun felt relief wash over him. "And the prisoners? The political opponents they took?" Somi smiled. "Many have been released, including Mina's father. He is weak but alive." Mina's glow pulsed with joy. She had believed her father was dead. Now she had hope of seeing him again. "There's more," Ambassador Lee said. She pressed a button, and new images appeared. They showed humans and Lumini working together on what looked like a small colony. "This is New Dawn, the first official mixed settlement. Construction began last week." Taehyun looked closely at the images. Humans built structures while Lumini used their natural light to grow special plants. They worked in perfect harmony, each using their unique strengths. "This is what we fought for," Mina said softly. Ambassador Lee nodded. "Yes, and we need both of you to help it succeed." She explained that Taehyun and Mina were being offered special positions in the new colony. Taehyun would serve as the human diplomatic representative, and Mina would be the Lumini cultural advisor. Together, they would help build a new way for their species to live and work together. "You two showed us what's possible," the ambassador said. "When you trusted each other despite every reason not to, you changed the future for both our kinds." Taehyun looked at Mina. In the 2 months they had worked together, their connection had grown stronger. What had started as a desperate hiding of a refugee had become something much more, a deep understanding between two very different beings. "We still have much to learn from each other," Taehyun said. Mina's glow brightened in the way that Taehyun now recognized as happiness, "And we have time to learn it all." Later that evening, they stood together on a small balcony overlooking the gardens of the embassy. The sky above was filled with stars. "Did you ever imagine this outcome when you found me hiding in your ship?" Mina asked. Taehyun smiled and shook his head. "Never. I thought I might lose my job. I never thought we would change the relationship between our entire species." "My people have a saying," Mina said. "Even the smallest light can push back the darkness." She held out her hand. Her blue glow extended from her fingers, dancing in the night air. Taehyun reached out and touched her hand. Though he had no glow of his own, he felt the warmth of her light. "New Dawn is a good name for our colony," he said. "Every morning brings new possibilities." As they looked up at the stars together, Taehyun realized that the greatest discoveries often happen by accident. He had found Mina while checking cargo. But what they had found together was the beginning of a new future, one that neither humans nor Lumini could have built alone. Dr. Somi's glow pulsed with shock. "You are taking a great risk telling me this." "I am, because I believe you care about the truth more than you fear the new regime." The Lumini scientist was quiet for a long moment. Then her glow strengthened to a bright green. "You judge correctly, Commander. I have watched my homeworld fall into darkness. If Mina has information that can prevent further harm, I will help her share it." Relief washed over Taehyun. "Then please, come with me to the medical bay. We don't have much time." Taehyun led Dr. Somi quickly through the station corridors. Security teams were everywhere now, checking every person who passed. When they reached the medical bay, Jiwoo waited nervously by the door. "Two Lumini officers checked this area 10 minutes ago," she whispered. "They may come back soon." In the quarantine room, Mina stood up when she saw Dr. Somi. Her blue glow brightened with hope. "Dr. Somi," she said with respect, "my father spoke of your wisdom. He said you stayed true when others changed." Dr. Somi approached Mina carefully. "Your father was researcher Taemin?" Mina nodded. "They took him when he discovered the attack. Plans. I feared as much." Dr. Somi turned to Taehyun and Jiwoo. "We must act quickly. I can receive Mina's memories and send them through official science channels to Earth. The military will not check those channels." Jiwoo looked at her medical scanner. "But the connection might be detected by the security teams. They have energy monitors throughout the station." "Then we need another distraction," Taehyun said, "something bigger this time." They quickly formed a plan. Jiwoo would create a medical emergency in the main hall, far from the medical bay. Taehyun would redirect security teams there. Meanwhile, Dr. Somi and Mina would complete their memory transfer. Jiwoo left first, carrying her medical kit. 20 minutes later, alarms sounded from the main hall. Taehyun's communicator buzzed with urgent messages about a possible virus outbreak. All security personnel were ordered to help with containment. "Now," Taehyun said to the two Lumini women, "we won't have much time." Dr. Somi and Mina sat facing each other. They placed their hands on each other's necks, directly over their connection nodes. Both began to glow brighter, Mina blue, Dr. Somi green. Where their hands touched, the colors mixed into a beautiful turquoise. Taehyun watched from the door, keeping guard. The transfer seemed to take forever, though his watch showed only 5 minutes had passed. Both Lumini sat perfectly still, their eyes closed in deep concentration. Suddenly, the station's power flickered. The lights dimmed for a moment, then came back on. Dr. Somi and Mina separated, both looking tired but satisfied. "It is done," Dr. Somi said. "I have all the information about the planned attack. I can send it through secure channels within the hour." Mina looked relieved for the first time since Taehyun had found her. Then my father's sacrifice was not in vain. Their moment of victory was short-lived. The medical bay door slid open, and 3 Lumini officers entered, weapons drawn. Their purple glow was intense and threatening. "We detected an unauthorized energy surge," the lead officer said. "Exactly the kind used for memory transfers." They moved toward the quarantine room. Taehyun stepped in front of the door. "This is a restricted medical area," he said firmly. "You have no authority here." "We have authority everywhere on this station now," the officer replied. "Step aside, Commander Park." Taehyun didn't move. "I cannot do that." The officer raised his weapon. "Then you leave us no choice." Just as the situation seemed hopeless, the station-wide communication system activated. A deep, authoritative voice spoke. "Attention all Lumini security personnel. This is Admiral Kim of Earth Fleet Command. We have received detailed information about your government's planned attack on Newton Colony. Earth forces are now on high alert. Any aggressive action will be met with immediate response. Furthermore, all Lumini personnel on Nexus 9 are hereby contained until further notice. Stand down immediately. The officers looked at each other in confusion. Their leader kept his weapon pointed at Taehyun. This is a trick. Earth couldn't know about the plans. They know everything, Taehyun said, calmly. Every detail that Mina's father discovered, every ship position, every target, it's over. As if to confirm his words, the station shook slightly as several Earth military ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel nearby. The station's external sensors showed 5 heavily armed vessels surrounding Nexus 9. The lead officer's glow dimmed. Slowly, he lowered his weapon. How? He asked simply. Dr. Somi stepped forward, her green glow steady and bright. I sent the information through emergency channels. Some of us still believe in peace between our peoples. When they separated, Jiwoo looked shaken. This is serious, but it's also dangerous to keep her here. Do you know who these officers are? They're from the Special Intelligence Division. They don't just arrest people, they make them disappear. That's why I need to get her safely to Earth authorities, Taehyun said. A loud alarm suddenly blared through the station. A voice came over the speakers. Attention all personnel. Security lockdown in progress. All residents must remain in their current locations for identity verification. Jiwoo looked at the door. They're starting their full search now. We need to move her. Where? Taehyun asked. The whole station will be locked down. Medical bay, Jiwoo said quickly. I can hide her in the quarantine section. No one goes there without special permission. They quickly gathered Mina's few belongings. Taehyun checked the corridor. Empty for now, but security teams would arrive soon. We need a distraction, he said. Jiwoo pulled out her medical communicator. I can trigger a minor environmental alert in Section 4. It will draw security there first. Do it. As Jiwoo sent the false alert, Taehyun's personal communicator beeped again. The message made his blood run cold. Lieutenant Commander Park, please report to Security Office 7 immediately for questioning regarding a security matter. They were running out of time. Let's go, he said, leading Mina to the door. Stay between us, act normal. The three moved quickly through the corridors. They could hear security teams in the distance. Twice they had to change direction to avoid Lumini officers. As they approached the medical bay, a tall Lumini officer stepped out from a side passage. His purple glow intensified when he saw them. Stop right there, he ordered, his hand moving to the weapon at his side. Taehyun stepped forward, blocking Mina from view. Is there a problem, officer? The Lumini's black eyes narrowed. Lieutenant Commander Park, what a surprise. We've been looking for you. His gaze shifted to the women behind him. And who are your companions? Dr. Jiwoo, our medical officer, Taehyun said calmly. And her assistant. We're responding to a medical emergency. The officer moved closer, his glow pulsing with suspicion. I don't recognize the assistant. May I see her identification? Mina stepped back, her glow flickering with fear. The officer noticed the change and reached for his weapon. Jiwoo moved suddenly, injecting something into the officer's arm with a small medical device. The Lumini's eyes widened in surprise, then he collapsed to the floor. Sedative, Jiwoo explained, already dragging him toward a storage closet. He'll wake up in an hour with a headache and confused memories. They continued to the medical bay, moving faster now. The chase had begun, and Taehyun knew they were running out of time. The medical bay was quiet. Most of the station's crew stayed in their quarters during the lockdown. Taehyun, Jiwoo, and Mina moved quickly through the empty room to the quarantine section at the back. No one will look for her here, Jiwoo said, typing a code into the door panel. This area is restricted due to decontamination protocols. They entered a small room with basic medical equipment and a bed. The walls were plain white and the air smelled clean and sterile. You'll be safe here for now, Taehyun told Mina. But we need a better plan. Mina sat on the edge of the bed, Her blue glow was steady but dim, a sign of her exhaustion. The Lumini will not stop looking, she said softly. They know I have the attack plans. They will search every room, even this one. Taehyun knew she was right. The sedated officer would wake up soon. When he did, security would increase everywhere. We need to get her off the station, he said to Jiwoo. Impossible during lockdown, Jiwoo replied. No ships can leave. Taehyun paced the small room. Then we need to contact Earth authorities directly. If they understand the threat, they might send help. Jiwoo looked doubtful. All communications are being monitored. The moment we mention a Lumini attack plan, the officers on the station will know exactly where we are. They fell silent, each trying to think of a solution. Then Mina spoke up. What if we don't need to leave? What if we bring the right people here instead? Taehyun and Jiwoo turned to her, curious. What do you mean? Taehyun asked. My people communicate through touch, sharing thoughts and memories, Mina explained. But we can also share across distances with special technology. She pointed to her neck, where a small blue mark was visible under her skin. All Lumini have a connection node here. It helps us communicate with our family members, even when far apart. Jiwoo moved closer, examining the mark with interest. A built-in communication device? Yes, but more. It stores memories and can transmit them. Mina looked at Taehyun. If I had the right equipment, I could send all the information I have directly to Earth authorities. The station has a deep space transmitter, Taehyun said, growing excited, but we'd need to modify it to work with your connection node. I can do that, Jiwoo said. I've studied Lumini biology, but we'd need access to the communications center, which is heavily guarded during lockdown, Taehyun finished, his excitement fading. Mina's glow brightened slightly. There is another way. Lumini can connect with each other more easily than with technology. If there is even one Lumini on this station who supports our cause, I could share the information with them. They could then send it forward. Taehyun thought for a moment. There's a Lumini scientist, Dr. Somi, working in the botanical lab. She's been on the station for years, long before the new government took power. Can we trust her? Jiwoo asked. She has spoken against the new regime before, Taehyun said. It's worth trying. They made a plan. Taehyun would contact Dr. Somi and bring her to the medical bay. Jiwoo would monitor security movements and create distractions if needed. Mina would prepare the information for transfer. As Taehyun left the quarantine room, his communicator beeped again. It was a station-wide alert. Attention all personnel. Be advised that harboring the Lumini fugitive Mina is a serious offense. Anyone with information must report to security immediately. A reward is offered for her capture. They now knew Mina's name. The hunt was intensifying. Taehyun made his way carefully to the botanical lab. Security teams patrolled the corridors, checking identification cards. Twice he had to show his credentials and explain his movements. When he finally reached the lab, he found Dr. Somi working alone among tall plants with glowing leaves. She was an older Lumini, her skin glowing a soft green, the color of scientists and teachers. She looked up when Taehyun entered. Commander Park, she said, her voice musical like all Lumini. This is a surprise during lockdown. Dr. Somi, I need your help with something urgent, Taehyun said, closing the door behind him. It concerns the future of both our peoples. Dr. Somi put down her tools. You have my attention. I know where Mina is, he said directly, and I know what information she carries. Here's part 1. The encounter of the first story in approximately 800 words, written in simple English and third-person style. The space station, Nexus 9, hummed with activity. People from different planets walked through its wide corridors, their voices echoing against the metal walls. Lieutenant Commander Taehyun Park walked with purpose, his blue uniform neat and his black boots shining. He needed to check his ship's cargo hold before tomorrow's mission. Taehyun was a respected diplomat from Earth. At 32 years old, he had already helped solve 3 major conflicts between different alien species. His superiors valued his calm thinking and kind heart. Today, he just wanted to make sure everything was ready for his journey to the peace talks on Centauri Prime. The cargo bay doors slid open with a soft hiss. The large room was filled with containers stacked nearly to the ceiling. Some held food, others medicine, and some diplomatic gifts. Taehyun checked items off his list as he walked between the tall stacks. A soft noise made him stop. It sounded like breathing. Taehyun reached for the small light on his belt and pointed it toward the sound. "Who's there?" he called. "Show yourself." Silence followed. Then came another sound, like someone shifting position. Taehyun moved closer to a stack of containers in the corner. He saw something move behind them. "I won't hurt you," he said, keeping his voice gentle. "Please come out." Slowly, a figure emerged from the shadows. Taehyun's eyes widened. It was a girl, but not human. Her skin had a soft blue glow that pulsed gently. Her large eyes were completely black with no visible whites. Her hair was silver and seemed to float slightly as if underwater. She was clearly from the Lumini species, a race known for their natural light and mind-reading abilities. The girl looked terrified. She was thin and dirty, wearing torn clothes. She couldn't be more than 20 years old in human terms. "Please," she whispered, her voice musical yet scared. "Don't tell anyone I'm here." Taehyun lowered his light. "What's your name? How did you get on this station?" "I am Mina," she said, her eyes darting to the door. "I escaped on a cargo ship 3 days ago. I need to reach Earth space." Taehyun frowned. Relations with the Lumini had been tense lately. Their government had changed 6 months ago when military leaders took control. Since then, many Lumini had tried to leave their planet. "Why are you running?" Taehyun asked, though he could guess the answer. Mina's skin glowed dimmed. "My family spoke against the new leaders. My parents were taken away. I escaped before they could find me." Taehyun knew he should report her. Space station rules were clear about stowaways. But something in her eyes made him hesitate. Fear, yes, but also hope. His communicator beeped. He quickly answered it. "Park here." "Commander, security alert," said a voice. "We have reports of a Lumini fugitive hiding somewhere on the station. All personnel should report any sightings immediately." Taehyun looked at Mina. Her glow had faded even more from fear. "Understood. I'll keep an eye out. Park out." He put the communicator away. Mina backed toward the shadows. "You will turn me in now?" Taehyun should say yes. It was his duty. But he had seen what happened to political refugees sent back to military governments. It rarely ended well. "No," he said finally. "Not yet. But you can't stay here. Security will search all ships soon." Relief washed over Mina's face, making her glow stronger for a moment. "Thank you." "Don't thank me yet. This is temporary." Taehyun looked around the cargo bay, thinking fast. "Why did you need to reach Earth space specifically?" Mina hesitated. "I have information. Important information that Earth people need to know." "What information?" "About an attack. The new leaders plan to attack one of your colonies." Her voice shook. "My father discovered this before they took him. He made me memorize the details." Taehyun felt cold. If she was telling the truth, this was serious. But if she was lying to gain his help, that would be trouble too. "I can prove it," she said, as if reading his thoughts. She reached out her hand, palm up. "I can show you." Taehyun knew that Lumini could share thoughts through touch. It was how they communicated most naturally. After a moment of hesitation, he placed his hand on hers. Instantly, images flashed in his mind. Maps, weapons, plans, dates. It was overwhelming but clear. She was telling the truth. When the connection broke, Taehyun stepped back, his mind racing. "I need to get you somewhere safe," he said firmly. "And then we need to talk more about what you showed me." He led Mina to a small storage room connected to his personal quarters. It wasn't comfortable, but it was safe from regular security. Scans. "Stay here," he told her. "I'll bring food and clean clothes." As Taehyun locked the door, He knew he had just made a decision that could end his career or save countless lives. Either way, there was no turning back now. 3 days had passed since Taehyun found Mina hiding in his cargo hold. He had managed to keep her hidden in the small storage room connected to his quarters. Each day he brought her food and news from around the station. And each day, more Lumini security officers arrived at Nexus 9. Taehyun walked quickly through the main corridor, trying to look normal. 2 Lumini officers stood near the entrance to the dining area, watching everyone who passed. Their skin glowed, a deep purple, the color of their military branch. Taehyun nodded politely and continued walking. His communicator beeped. It was Dr. Jiwoo, the ship's medical officer and his longtime friend. "Taehyun, can we talk? It's important." "Meet me in my quarters in 10 minutes, he replied, wondering what she wanted. When he arrived at his room, he checked on Mina first. She sat on the small cot he had provided, reading information about Earth on a tablet. More officers arrived. "Today," he told her. "They're searching the station section by section." Mina's glow dimmed with fear. "How long until they reach here?" 2 days, maybe less." Taehyun ran a hand through his dark hair. "My friend Jiwoo is coming. I might need her help." Mina looked alarmed. "Can you trust her?" Before he could answer, the door chimed. Taehyun quickly closed the storage room door and let Jiwoo in. Jiwoo was small but strong, with short black hair and serious eyes. She looked around the room carefully before speaking. "There's something you need to know," she said quietly. "The Lumini officers aren't just looking for any refugee. They've shown images of a specific person they want. A young female." Taehyun kept his face neutral. "Oh, yes. And they've been asking about you specifically, checking your schedule, your movements." Jiwoo looked at him directly. "What have you gotten involved in, Taehyun?" He hesitated. Jiwoo had been his friend for years, but this was dangerous information. "I need to show you something," he finally said. "But you have to promise to keep it secret." Jiwoo nodded slowly. "I promise." Taehyun opened the storage room door. Mina stood there, her blue glow pulsing with anxiety. Jiwoo gasped. "So it's true. You're hiding her." "Her name is Mina," Taehyun explained. "She has critical information about a planned attack on one of our colonies." Jiwoo looked skeptical. "And you believe her?" "I've seen the proof. Lumini can share memories through touch." Taehyun turned to Mina. "Show her what you showed me." Mina stepped forward and offered her hand to Jiwoo. After a moment's hesitation, Jiwoo took it. Her eyes widened as the images flowed into her mind.